Thanks everybody for being here again. If you're coming in, go ahead and put your name, where you're from, and if you've deposited yet to NU in the chat box so that we know that you're here. My name is Kim Fenton. I'm the Assistant Dean of Students here at Niagara and the Director of Residence Life. I've been at Niagara now for 9 years. I'm super excited. I love Niagara. This is a place that I've really been able to call home for the last several years as well. So super excited to have you guys all here. So what we have for you tonight, since you can't visit to campus on a random Tuesday night, so we have a bunch of us here. We're all stationed throughout campus in different locations, or many of us are, just to give you a little bit of a sneak preview about some of the different spots on campus as well. I'm located right now, I'm in the Nest, which is here in the first floor of O'Shea Lounge, or O'Shea Hall. And O'Shea is one of our first year residence halls, as well as there's some upperclassmen who live here too. So right here on the first floor of your building, if you live in O'Shea, you've got access to this whole lounge, which is really cool. So what we've got these giant TVs throughout the lounge. They've all got this gaming setup. We've got all the sports packages and stuff in here as well. So like on Bill's Sundays, you can come down here. There's going to be a lot of people hanging out in the lounge. And then also just it's a good opportunity for people to, bring your gaming system down, plug it in. You'll meet somebody who will come in and want to hang out with you as well. So that was one of the fun things we wanted to share with you, is just to show you a little bit around campus and some of our spaces. So we also have a bunch of our staff and our people here as well, who can be able to just give you a little bit of an inside information into living on campus. What are those things you need to know about? Many of those people here are our community advisors, our CAs, and they're all current students here at Niagara, and they've each got something that they're going to share with you all as well, just to give you some information. As we go along, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and then at the end, we'll go through all of your questions in the chat. We'll also give some more FAQs if you needed any other ideas or things that you didn't know to ask yet, but we got you covered. And then I'm going to go through at the end and we'll talk about those housing preference forms, the application, roommates, when do I get my room assignment, all that good stuff. We'll get you super excited for that. So I also want to, I want to get us started here with our student affairs staff. And we're very lucky at Niagara to have higher level people on campus who just really care about our students. They want to spend a lot of time with our students. So the first person I'd like to kick it over to is our Vice President of Student Affairs, Chris Sheffield. So Chris, would you like to say a little bit here and welcome us?
I would. Thanks so much, Kim, and thanks to Gary, to the CA staff, to the whole team in Residence Life who helped to make the residential experience an incredibly exciting, rewarding, and valuable one for our students. Welcome to our students and families. I'm so excited that you're able to join us this evening for this virtual showcase event. We're really looking forward to seeing you all in person during our summer orientation event, where the excitement will continue to build for new student orientation in August, when our campus community will experience what we're calling Fall Power, Full Power. And we're back together, face to face, and enjoying the full college experience. And when we talk about the college experience, let me tell you that living on campus will be the place to be. It's really a hub of activity that puts you at the center of the campus experience. And I can tell you from my own experience, having lived on Niagara's campus myself as a student for 6 years. All right, in fairness, that was 2 degrees. I'm not a slacker. Living on campus is really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. There's a saying that we use in Residence Life, that where you live will change your life. And we mean that, and our team backs that up by providing an incredible experience for you. You're going to hear this evening about a lot of the ways that we do that, but I want to share one example with you. When you come to Niagara University, you're here to learn and to grow and develop. So you'll have opportunities to get involved with what we call living learning communities. This is where in Residence Life, we continue the learning and development experience outside the classroom. 3 of these communities, which really focus around shared hobbies, experiences, cultural interests, and identities, 3 of these communities are open to first-year students. And they focus on areas of social justice, earth and the environment, and legal advocacy. The shared mission of these programs really connects directly to Niagara University's mission, through programs that provide humanitarian assistance, sustainability, and legal assistance. You'll have opportunity to connect with other students and the university community, as well as the community beyond, the Buffalo Niagara community, through events, programs, trips, and educational and social experiences that are all guided by expert faculty mentors. You'll also share in these communities in a common academic course that's team taught by these 3 faculty mentors from the communities. So as you consider your decision to live on campus, I encourage you to think about our living learning community options. You're going to hear a lot more this evening about the ways that our team creates a life-changing, once-in-a-lifetime experience for you. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you, our new students and your families, and seeing you in person in our upcoming events this summer and into August as we begin the fall semester. So welcome to our event this evening. Thanks so much for being here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris. And yes, that's definitely our saying. I will put that on any pen or any kind of swag giveaways, things that we have, is where you live will change your life. That's definitely, we've kind of picked that up as a tagline over the past couple of years. One of our former students actually said, you know what? Like, I'm never going to get to do this again. I'm never going to get to live down the hall across from my friends, or I'm never going to just get to, run into people making popcorn at 1 in the morning kind of thing. So we absolutely believe that this is a really once in a lifetime opportunity. So thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Next, I want to send it over to someone who is really integral in the way that we care for our students, the way that we look out for our students. You may have had this little bit of anxiety or some nerves before you're thinking about coming to campus, or maybe you're just really excited. But one of those things that we want you to know is that we've got your backs if you have a little bit of nerves or things like that. So I want to kick it over to our interim dean of students, Avril Harbin, to let us know her thoughts about this whole transition and how we can help to support you on campus.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. And as Kim has said, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend the evening with us. A little bit about, my role as the interim dean of students. In student affairs, our recipe for success includes a focus on the whole person. This means surrounding our students with care and support from all angles, but also creating the right amount of challenge to encourage continual learning, growth, and discovery. Our holistic approach includes care for physical and mental health and well-being. We have a full-service health clinic of experienced practitioners, a team of licensed mental health counselors who understand and support our students through the complexities of student life. We all know the pandemic has certainly highlighted for all of us additional stressors and anxiety, and we have expanded our support by adding additional mental health counselors and launching a new online tool for self-directed wellness in areas of stress management, mindfulness, problem solving, and relationship skills, which is accessible 24/7. Our recreational and club sport programs and modern weight training and aerobic facilities encourage physical fitness and involvement. As you see, Niagara's holistic wellness model extends to where you live. 3/4 of our first-year students live in residence to take full advantage of the university experience. And the majority of our first-year students live near one another in Seton Hall, where we provide targeted and fun programming on the transition to college life and living on your own. We are already preparing for you and look forward to a fall semester where our community will be able to celebrate together again. In student affairs and in Res Life and across campus, we're calling it the Roaring 20s of student connection as we look forward to continually safe but more traditional college experience. Thank you, and go Purple Eagles.
Thank you so much, Avril. It's a pleasure to hear from you, and absolutely, it's like the Roaring 20s. That's kind of what our catchphrase has been. We're super excited for that. One other person here in our professional staff that I'd really like for you to meet, someone who I think that you'll all get to know pretty quickly early on, is our Associate Director in Residence Life, Carrie Winston. So Carrie's going to just give you a little bit of a sense of, okay, day to day, who's there with me on the floor, who can I go knock on the door of, and then she'll kind of set us up for everybody else that she'll meet tonight, who are our community advisor staff. So Carrie?
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thank you, Kim. Like she said, my name is Carrie Winston. I am the Associate Director of Resident Life. I've been here for about 3.5 years, and to say I bleed purple is an understatement. It's great that you guys are here. Our community advisor staff is our residence life staff that's on the ground running with you all. Those are our backbone to our office. These are the people that you go to for all support, academic help, just somewhere to be there if you need them. We call our community advisors because our focus in this office is community building. We want to make sure that our team focuses on inclusivity and programming that brings everyone into this programming and into each other as a floor. And we have a staff of 52 CAs. There's 1 to 2 CAs on every floor in every building. Our CAs are phenomenal. They are there to help you when it comes to, like I said, your academic concerns, or if you just need someone to talk to, or someone to bring you to certain programming that's on campus. These are the people that you go to when you just are having a stressful day and you just need to release that stress. We have a 24/7 supportive services for our students when they get to campus. And in our residence life office, we have 3 professional staff. We have someone, our secretary, her name is Mama Rowe, and we call her that because she's literally the mom of residence life. And once you get on campus and you get to meet her, she is really just a breath of fresh air. She always willing to have a hug for you. Her loving demeanor is what the office really stands on, and it shows how much we care for our students. Regardless if you're in our office, just for a key exchange or just to say hi, she's always there, that beautiful face, as soon as you walk in the door. And then you have Kim and I, and then we have 4 residence directors who are also on staff, who live on campus for you also for your additional support. And we're gonna meet a lot of our CAs tonight. And these are phenomenal, like I said. Like I can't even express how amazing our staff is and how they have gone above and beyond, especially in this pandemic. They have really been a support for this office because things have changed so quickly when it comes to this pandemic, and they have been the ones on the ground running and helping our students, being there for our students. So thank you to our CAs, and I'm very excited that we have people coming to our campus, and I'm excited to see everyone in person during SUMO and new student orientation. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off back to Kim. Thank you guys once again for joining us this evening, and happy Tuesday.
Awesome, thanks, Carrie. Yeah, so our CAs are really the backbone of our whole program. We're really proud of them. They go through a lot of training to become CAs, and we know that they've got your back in case anything comes up when you're here on campus. So kicking it over to the CAs here to start. I wanted to start with one of our CAs, Brianna. She's also a tour guide, so you may have met Brianna if you came to campus. But Brianna is actually in our showroom on campus. So she wanted to just give you a little bit of a sense of what does the room look like? What do I bring with me? How's everything kind of laid out? So I'll kick it over to Brianna and she will show you where she's at.
Hi, my name is Brianna. As Kim mentioned, I am a tour guide here on campus, but I'm also a senior chemistry major here from Syracuse, New York. But like she said, I am in the showroom. We show these on tours. So if you have had the opportunity to visit campus, this is likely the room that you have seen over here. This showroom is in O'Shea, but it is identical to the rooms that you will see over in Seton. So you'll be either in O'Shea or Seton. As a freshman, like I said, the rooms look identical. So you can kind of see behind me here. Each roommate, so right now I'm in a double room, so 2 roommates will live in this room together. Each roommate gets their own set of furniture. So you can kind of see behind me, each roommate gets their own desk, a chair. You kind of see there is a set of drawers that fits right under the desk. The nice thing about these set of drawers is that they do lock. So if you bring a little combination lock, you can lock up any valuables you have within your room. Obviously, you're able to lock your room door when you're not around, but if you wanted that extra added security of locking up, like, money, passport, your laptop, or that kind of thing when you're not in your room, you totally have the ability to do so without having to bring a whole lockbox or that kind of thing, which is really nice as well. I'll bring you guys over here. Then over here, you can kind of see each room gets a little wardrobe space. This is kind of set up just to see how set up over here. And the wardrobe, I have a nice quarter size that kind of thing. Completely along in your dresser, in here, that kind of thing. There's also some drawers and stuff as well. And like I said, each roommate gets their own, so there's plenty of storage space. I consider myself an overpacker, and I had plenty of space to store everything that I possibly need. And then, of course, I can have the bed space. I don't know the best way to show this, but this is kind of how we have a bed set up here. They are the twin extra large beds, so when you're looking for bedding or anything like that, that is what you want to look for. We always recommend bringing like a mattress pad or something to go over the mattress just for a little extra comfort, that kind of thing, but bring your sheets, comforter, pillows, everything like that. And then, of course, this room we have and a TV. So the rooms don't come with a fridge and a TV. You do have to bring your own. Each roommate can bring their own fridge and their own TV, or you can share it. I know what my roommate and I did freshman year is one of us brought the TV, one of us brought the fridge. So you can split it that way, or you can each bring your own. It's really just whatever works best for you and your roommate. We do get cable for the TVs, which is really nice, free cable. All you have to do is bring the cable cord to hook up the TV to the cable hookup in the room, which is really nice. And then the only other furniture that I haven't showed, it's on the floor, so it's not the easiest thing for me to show, but you do get 2 additional drawers as well to store your stuff in. So like I said, plenty of storage space, and each roommate gets their own set of furniture. So you're not, sharing storage or anything like that. You do get your own designated space to keep all your stuff, which is really nice. Your own designated desk to be your study space. You don't have to share with a roommate or anything like that. And yeah, I think that's everything about our dorm rooms. Like I said, this is kind of what a typical room would look like in both of our freshman dorms that we have here. And then the only other thing I wanted to cover was kind of the bathrooms here. So this is your space where you live, your sleep, everything like that. But obviously you probably have questions about where you're showering, that kind of thing. So we do have communal bathrooms on the floor. There's 2 on each floor. And each bathroom has 4 shower stalls and 5 bathroom stalls. And then sinks lining either side, and that's what both bathrooms will look like. The bathroom stalls do lock, so they have a hard door that locks, so you can obviously lock it when you're going to the bathroom and everything like that. And our shower areas have, so basically when you walk into the shower, it does have a hard like plastic door that locks or whatever, and then you have a little changing area. And then once you step into the shower, there's a separate shower curtain. So it's nice that you have that additional shower area, and it does have a locking door. So that's really nice as well. You don't have to worry about anyone like walking in or anything like that. It does have a door that locks. You have a changing area with a little bit of bench, and then a shower curtain in your shower area, which is really nice as well. And some people are worried about, you're sharing a floor with up to 64 residents. So they're like, oh, I've never had to wait for a shower or anything like that. You're never waiting in line or anything like that. The only time I've waited for a shower is you have your favorite shower that you love showering every day. I've waited the extra 5 minutes to get that shower, anything like that. But you can always walk around to the other side, to the other bathroom, that kind of thing, as long as you're on like an all girls floor and that kind of thing. You can just pop on to the other side of the floor and use a shower over there if they are full on one side for whatever reason. I didn't see anyone else post any questions about the rooms and specifically that kind of thing. The only other thing I'll touch on is kind of what you can and can't have. The big ones, there's no microwaves allowed in the rooms, no toasters allowed in the rooms, no hot plates, nothing like that. That's a fire hazard, that kind of thing. However, you can have Keurigs, you can have electric kettles, you can have stuff like that. As far as decor, you can kind of see the line in the wall above me. That's called the fire line. Anything you hang on your walls has to hang below that fire line, and it can't cover more than 50% of the wall. And then as far as like lights, so a lot of girls like to bring like fairy lights, that kind of thing to decorate. Guys like to bring the LED lights, or everyone loves the LED lights now, but they just ask that they're battery powered rather than the plug-in ones, just again for fire safety reasons. We have fire marshals that come throughout the year to check the room, so you don't want to be receiving a fine for that. So again, go with the battery powered lights rather than the plug-in lights when you're looking for decor as well. But I think that's everything that I have to say about the rooms. I'm kind of seeing the question about twin extra large. It's just kind of the denotation, like if you get sheets for like a full size bed, if you get sheets for like a queen size bed, just look for the twin XL denotation when you're looking for sheets or sheets, comforter, everything like that. It'll say right on the packaging that you're buying terrifying for sheets, just like it would if it was a queen size bed or a king size bed, that kind of thing. Just look for the twin XL denotation. Yes, it is a fire hazard to bring tapestry, so those are usually a no-go for students here as well. Trying to see.
Yeah, so we've got, thanks, Bree, that was awesome. Keep the questions coming because we're gonna go through those all in the chat as we go, but keep those coming. Those are awesome questions. And a lot of these questions we're gonna get to with some of our next people who are speaking and everything. But Bree, thank you so much. Great as always to see you. Thanks for being up in the showroom. So awesome. All right, and then let's see. So one of the next things that we like to touch on is about what is there to do on campus. Are there people here on the weekends? All that. So what we want you to know is, first of all, our campus activities office, all the other people on campus who are doing all these different events, they're going to be there planning events on the weekends. Your clubs are involved and are going to plan events on nights and weekends, but so are we. So is our staff. So I wanted to kick it over now to Caden Johnson. He's one of our most involved CAs that we have, although all of our CAs are pretty involved in different things. And Caden, why don't you show us where you are and tell us a little bit about what can we do on campus?
Hi, everyone. My name is Caden. I am a sophomore childhood and special education major. Right now, I am in the first floor lounge of Seton Hall, which is where you might end up as a freshman. So in this lounge, we got 2 TVs, a bunch of chairs and couches, pool tables behind me, ping pong tables on the other side of my camera. And on campus, I'm a CA, but I'm also part of our campus programming board. So in your residence halls, your CAs will put on a program for your floor about once every month. So that could be anything from a pizza party, a ping pong tournament. We've had trivia, bingo, a lot of stuff with a lot of free prizes and free food. Me and my friends always say, if it's free, it's for me. Also in the residence halls, Seton and O'Shea have building-wide programs about once a semester. In Seton, we put on a really fun program where we got to go trick-or-treating across all the floors back in October for Halloween. Outside of our residence halls, we have an endless amount of events. Our campus programming board and student government put on events weekly. So every week we have a late night event on Fridays, as well as other events throughout the week. So we have Deal or No Deal, Cash Cab, Trivia, Bingo. For late night events, we've had Open Skate. We're having a roller skating party this Friday. And all of these events are free and they all have prizes. At one of our bingos the other week, my friend won a TV, so that was pretty cool. We also have class events. So your student government representatives put on class events every semester. So that could be anything from casino night to free food to come say hi and grab something fun. So on campus, you'll never run out of something to do. We have events in the weekdays, weekends. We had a carnival last Saturday, which was pretty cool. So the opportunities are endless really here at NU.
Awesome, thanks, Caden. And like we said, there's always things going on inside the residence halls, outside the residence halls, so all that good stuff. We've noticed a couple of questions coming in about food now. So who I wanted to turn this over to next is one of our LCAs who is going to tell us a little bit about his thoughts about the food on campus. What are the options? Where do I eat? And how is it? So Skylar is up. Skylar Jessup, one of our LCAs.
Everyone, can you guys hear me all right?
Yep, we can hear you.
Fantastic. So I'm actually out here. Let's turn this around. Sorry, I don't have my laptop. Camera's broken. I'm actually right here at the entrance to the dining hall. So that's that. But we have 2 places you can go mainly to eat on campus. So sorry to introduce myself. My name is Skylar. I'm the LCA of O'Donoghue Hall. Down that way. Down that way. Next year, you guys might see me in as the LCA of O'Shea Hall. We are out here at the dining hall. There is a new section. I don't know how old it is, but the extension is very, very nice. Sorry, I don't have a lot to say about the dining hall, but however, there are 2 spots to eat on campus: the dining hall, and people around. This is very nerve-wracking. The dining hall, so previously before COVID, they had a different entrance to the dining hall. It was right at the front. Oh, I see lots of questions coming and answers. That's awesome. So Previously, before COVID, the entrance was at the front. Now it is in the back. You can see the gorge alongside on the west side of campus. And it is attached also to the residence hall of Clay. So the way people call it Clay, but it's really the dining commons. And there the bells go. And then we also have the Gallagher Center to eat. That is like the student life center on campus. There's tons of places to eat in there. They also have things that kind of switch out weekly. I'm not sure what it'll be like in the fall, but they have many different options in there. One of my favorites is the Gallagher Grill. That is amazing. That has like burgers. The grilled chicken wrap is my favorite. The crispy chicken wrap, buffalo chicken wraps. And then they also have poblanos, which is like Mexican. They have Taco Tuesdays. They do quesadillas. And then we have a place that switches out weekly. So they have a place in the Gallagher Center next to the grill and poblanos. But they've been doing all sorts of different things this semester, like smoothies, barbecue, pasta, pad thai, I think, one week. But it switches out weekly. So that is really nice too. So we have tons of different options. And then kind of like a different thing that we have here to eat, we have the Grove as well. So that's just a place on your way to class. You can go pick up snacks. That's kind of like, you can also pick up like utilities and stuff like detergent and whatnot if you need. But we have Clay Dining Hall here, and there's lots of different options in there. So there's also, they change it up a lot. They have a wrap station, a salad station, and then they usually have like a hot food station, and then they have a like, just like, I call it the junk food station, but they have like fried foods. They do different French fries every day. Actually pretty good. But and then they also have ice cream. And then that's open at different times of the days. And then in the dining hall, they also do different theme nights for dinner, which are very fun. So they do like a Valentine's Day dinner, a Halloween dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. So it's lots of fun in the dining hall. And then in the dining hall extension, fortunately, I wasn't able to make it over there. But it is really nice. But they have like, that's where they throw different types of events and stuff. So we have like my clubs that I'm involved in on campus, like they have events in the dining hall extension, but and they have like, that's where they have some fun theme things too. Like that's where they have really good food to eat sometimes in the extension. So that is a little bit about the Gallagher Center. Oh, as well as the Tim Hortons and the Subway and the Gallagher Center. So that's very good. Those are like the things from off campus that we kind of have on campus. That's usually the lines to the Tim Hortons is just packed when people are trying to get coffee before class. And then there was also, I know it wasn't open this year, but there was also a Tim Hortons in the building across from the Gallagher Center. I can show you if I flip this around. Across from the Gallagher Center in the Biz Grove building or academic complex, they also had a smaller Tim Hortons, but I don't think it was open. It might be open in the fall. But yeah, awesome. I'm seeing lots of questions and lots of stuff. This is great. I'm glad you like the Gallagher Center. I love the Gallagher Center. I love the food there. I love the Gallagher Grill. Grilled chicken wrap, it's not on the menu. It's my favorite. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat or just, unmute yourself, shout out. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have about this kinds of stuff. So sorry, this was really short notice, but yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Skylar. Really appreciate it. So like where Skylar's standing, you can see both of the places that he's talking about, which is why that's a good spot to stand. You can see the entrance to the dining hall as well as the Gallagher Center over there. So he's in that like perfect little central location. Awesome. Well, thanks, Skylar. Appreciate it. So one of the next things that we really want to touch on, because there's a lot of questions about it, is how do I prepare for having a roommate? What's this going to be like when I'm living with somebody? We know that you're doing this for the first time. So we just wanted to give you just a little bit of something to think about. So I'm going to turn it over to another one of our lead community advisors, Liam Pachelik. So Liam, let us know, what's this roommate thing all about?
Hello, everyone. Like Kim said, my name's Liam. I'm an LCA currently in Lynch Hall. I dorm on campus that tends to be for upperclassmen, but I'm currently actually in O'Shea Hall right now in one of the lounges. So there is a lounge on every floor, from the second floor all the way up to the 8th floor. And it has some important things that, like Brianna mentioned, you're not allowed to have a microwave in your room. It's not an issue because each floor will have a microwave, as well as in the rest of the lounge, there's furniture, tables, and it's just a general place to hang out with your roommates or any friends on the floor. Obviously, a big thing about coming to college is trying to find a roommate. It is not going to be a difficult issue for you. I know someone asked a question about it just a minute ago about a roommate questionnaire. It is a form that I believe Kim will talk about as at the end of the meeting. It is a form where we ask you some questions. If you are a early bird, if you're a night owl, are you a generally cleanly person? Do you tend to be messier? However your personality is, we try and get a good feel of you so that we can match you up with someone that we believe you would work well with. What to expect with a roommate? It's really whatever you want it to be. If you want to become best friends that go get food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a midnight snack, you are more than able to do that. If you are the type of person that tends to be a little more independent, but you like having that support there, that's something that you are able to do with your roommate. So as the summer goes on and we get towards summer orientation, you've had that roommate questionnaire filled out, ResLife will send you a notification saying, hey, this is your roommate for the fall of 2021. Here's their phone number, here's their email, reach out to them, start talking to them so that you can communicate, hey, I'm gonna bring the TV, I'm gonna bring the fridge if you wanna bring a rug and the PS5 or whatever it may be. We try to get it so that you are able to start communicating with your roommate as early as possible, and so that you're able to at least build those connections. It's the same thing with your other members on your floor. We try to make sure that, like your roommate, you're able to connect with them as soon as possible. We do understand that this may be your first time living with someone, and it may be difficult and it may be an adjustment. However, all our CAs are trained in handling any sort of roommate issues that may arise. And the first thing we try and do with this, especially for first year students, is have them sign a roommate agreement. It basically is saying, I agree to keep my half of the room clean if you are agreeing to keep your half of the room clean, just to make sure that you two are on the same terms when you go into the fall or the spring, so that any issues hopefully will not arise. Again, if something happens, every CA is trained to deal with those situations, either to sit the two of them down just to talk and hopefully find a resolution. But we ideally like to keep first year students and most people with the roommate that they're given. And for example, I got paired, so I'm a nursing major. I got paired with the only other nursing major that decided to live on campus. I think it was a little bit of a coincidence. And today we are still best friends. Unfortunately, we aren't able to live together because of my position, but we're still incredibly close friends, and we're planning on graduating in only a few weeks now and hopefully working together. It has been definitely a great experience living on campus and getting that roommate. And hopefully, if that's what you choose to do, that's something that you'd be able to get out of this as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Liam. And those are always the fun things. Like when we make the roommate matches and everything over the summer, I'm always thinking about, like, did we just make someone's like best man or maid of honor for their wedding? I get super excited about that. So who knows? I wish that someone would, like, send me an email later and let me know. I know that there are definitely still people who, were freshmen when I first got to Niagara, and now, they friended me on Facebook. Now they've graduated, and I can see they're still close. They're friends. So that's been my goal. It's like, I want to make someone, so like maid of honor and best man at their weddings, just with these roommate matches. So awesome. One of the questions that came in about roommates, we're going to get all things roommates at the end. So thanks for that, but hang tight. We got a lot more roommate info coming and the housing applications and all that good stuff. All right, let's see. So one of the next things that that we get a lot of questions about and that we think is really, really important is when you come to campus, you're living in this whole new place. Niagara might be a bigger place than where you're from. Niagara might be a smaller place than where you're from. But for most of us, it's an adjustment to moving into campus. And so one of the things that we really want to share with you is about living in this new diverse environment, what to expect, how do you make the most of it? So one of our CAs, Nafanti, is here with us, and she has been super involved, and she's also been in one of those social justice houses as a CA this year. So Nafanti, please let us know.
Hi everyone, my name is Nafanti Maris. Again, I am a CA in the Varsity Village, and also I am involved in a lot of different aspects of campus, from the Black Student Union. I'm co-president of the African Caribbean Student Alliance. Also, I am involved in Inclusion Diversity Chair for Any Players, which is our theater, pretty much in theater, our club, and just I do a lot. So where I am today is the Office of Multicultural Affairs, and pretty much this is my personal hangout spot, and it's in the lower level of the Gallagher Center. In here, you can come in, find out about different events that's happening. If you just want to having a long day of classes, you need a break, come in here. You know, you can watch some TV, grab a snack, and also stop by and see MAB, which is the Multicultural Affairs Advisory Board, and check in with them. I feel like OMA has been the best place for me to meet new people and, you know, just to get more involved on campus. You know, if it wasn't for OMA being here, I would never have the opportunity to even try and put on a festival as well, collaborating with the student government. We had an African Caribbean festival here, and that was really, really fun. And OMA is here to help grow students and guide students to doing bigger and better things every single day. So this is definitely one place you should come and check out when you come here, even for tours or just to when you're on campus next fall.
Awesome, thanks so much, Nafanti. Lots of different clubs and organizations that are able to be that you can be involved in here on campus. A lot of them are multicultural organizations, but also just this whole experience of living on campus, having a roommate, learning about people from different backgrounds, all really part of that college experience that we're super excited about and to share with you. So moving on to our next kind of discussion topic, we have one of our CAs, Serena Leatherbarrow, who's here. And so we get all these questions about like, what do I pack? What do I bring with me? And also about laundry. So Serena, would you like to share with us a little bit about your thoughts?
Yeah, so thank you, Kim. As Kim said, my name is Serena and I'm a sophomore marketing major here at NU. It's going to be my second year as a CA in the fall, so I'm excited for that. Brianna touched on it a little bit earlier about what we should pack and what you should bring coming to campus, but I'm going to elaborate on some things that helped me. So if you go to Niagara's website under Res Life, there's actually a list of things that are recommended that you bring and things that are not allowed on campus. So if you're looking for just more of the basic things, I won't bore you with that, but bedding and clothing, there's a whole list of things there that you can sort of check off as you're packing. However, some things that you might not think to bring, and some things that helped me, shower shoes and a shower caddy are super helpful. As Brianna said, our bathrooms are communal, so you're sharing them with all of the other people on your floor. So just for good hygiene, I would recommend bringing shower shoes. You don't want to be stepping on the same shower that other people are stepping. And then a shower caddy, so just like a little bag or plastic tote is helpful to carry, you know, like your shampoo and conditioner back and forth. Something that I feel like a lot of people don't think to bring is first aid supplies like medicine, Band-Aids, cough drops, just because most people don't get sick that often. But trust me, when that scenario does arise and you have your first cold after being around so many people and living with so many people, you will be thankful that you packed those things. Important documents are another thing to bring. I know you're probably thinking like of packing all your bedding and your decorations, and you might not remember to bring your wallet or your banking information or your insurance card. A passport or an enhanced driver's license is really good to bring if you're looking to go to Canada, if the border ever opens. Something that really helped me was bringing a Brita water filter, so like a water pitcher, or a reusable water bottle. We do have water fountains on every floor of the residence halls, so you can fill up your water. And I just think it's good to, help the environment so you're not going through plastic water bottles or using paper cups in the dining hall. Cleaning supplies. I know a lot of people don't think to bring that, but your room will get dirty. So I recommend bringing like disinfectant wipes, or I purchased even like a $30 handheld vacuum, because if you have long hair like me, like you will be shedding, and it's good just to clean up and keep your room clean. I think someone mentioned in the chat box, but I would definitely recommend bringing a fan. Thankfully, we are in Niagara Falls and it doesn't get super warm, but the first couple of weeks of campus, it is a little toasty. So I would even recommend bringing 2 fans. So like maybe you bring one, your roommate brings one, just so you're comfortable those first couple of weeks. As Bree mentioned, I found it really helpful to split the cost of the bigger items. So for example, I brought the fridge and then my roommate brought the rug and the TV. That way you're sharing those things, so you might as well split the costs anyway. And then trying not to overpack is a big thing. I know it's easy to want to bring everything from your house, from your bedroom at home, and like recreate that environment. But I would say just try to pick your favorite things, your favorite posters, your favorite outfits, and then you can reassess after a couple weeks, especially if you live close by. I would recommend just bringing what you need and then seeing if there's anything else that you think of. I live only around 20 minutes from campus, so like I will just bring my fall clothes, and then towards October or November, I'll go home and grab my winter coat and boots and that stuff. We do have the outlet mall very close by, so lots of stores within like 10 minutes. And on campus, we have the bookstore, and Skylar mentioned the Grove, which has like snacks and laundry detergent, like little things you may need. So if you don't have a car to leave campus, there's that option for on-campus purchases. And then a couple things you don't need to bring, as mentioned by a couple people, we have microwaves on every floor, so that is not necessary. You don't need to bring a safe because we have the locking drawers. I would recommend not bringing a lot of like extra storage. As Bree showed, we do have a lot of storage in our rooms. And I think bringing like extra totes and containers and shelves just creates a lot of clutter. So again, like go the first couple of weeks and reassess and see if there's anything you need. And then Kim also mentioned laundry. So we do have laundry in every single residence hall. So we have washers and dryers, and it is free, which is very nice. So you just bring laundry detergent, and that's the only thing you really have to buy. With laundry, I recommend doing it during the week. It does get a little bit busy on the weekends, and it may be harder to find an open machine. But overall, it's pretty convenient with it being free and all. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Serena. That was a really great overview, the things like what you don't think of as to pack and all that stuff. So really glad you said that, because, I have the shower shoes. Sometimes people don't think of those things. So awesome. Thanks, Serena. Just wanted to let you guys know that there was a question in the chat in response to Nafanti's piece of this, in terms of what are our current demographics and what are our numbers in terms of students from diverse backgrounds on campus. So this is something that we have a task force on campus, our racial injustice task force, and we're studying this, and it changes every year, of course. And so I just want to let you guys know that I am trying to get that number for us, just to see if there's what the results were of our studies from this semester and everything. So if I get that information right now, I will let you know. Hoping that text comes through, and then we'll be able to get you some more information. All right, so next we wanted to just kind of get you a little bit more into kind of what to expect as you go along from Niagara. We think a lot about freshman year, but what are the next 3 years after that going to be like? So I wanted to kick it over to Eva Brocious. She's one of our CAs. She lives in an apartment. She's going to show us around her apartment on campus and just let us know a little bit about, how she spends her time on campus. Eva?
Hello, everyone. As Kim said, my name is Eva Brocious, and I am a CA in the on-campus apartments that is right outside of like our normal halls. And I am a junior bio major, and I am an out-of-state student. I live in Ohio, so I have lived on campus all 3 of my years here at NU. So I started with my freshman year and sophomore year. I lived in Seton Hall, which is like many of the other CAs have said is where you guys will be as freshmen, either O'Shea or Seton. And then after the fact, you have the option, even as early as sophomore year, to get an on-campus apartment if there are spots available. So I'm here right now in my apartment. So I'm going to show you a little bit what we have. So this is my counter that I'm at right now, but we have a microwave right there. We have an oven. We have a dishwasher that's like right over here. And then we also have a big fridge. And then there's a bunch of storage and cupboards over there that we all share. And each of these apartments fits 4 students. And there's 2 bathrooms. So it's 4 singles and then two bathrooms. So each of you will share a bathroom with one other person. And so, as I mentioned before, you have the option to live here as early as your sophomore year, but this is not the only place that you can live on campus. We do have West Side, which is our other upperclassmen housing, which is Lynch, O'Donoghue, and then also Clay. A majority of the dorms over there are singles, but there are options to live in doubles as well. I would say that living on campus has to have been one of my favorite parts about going to NU. I've met all of my best friends while living in the dorms, especially freshman year in Seton Hall. I had all my friends just seconds away from me. They were in the next rooms over from me. And I would say if anyone is on the fence about living on campus, just do it. It's a wonderful time. Everybody's so close to you. Everyone's so kind and welcoming. You have your CAs who really want to be there for you. And it just makes college more memorable. So that is what I have to tell you guys, but live on campus. It's a great time. I love it here.
Awesome. Thanks, Eva. Definitely that once in a lifetime opportunity. Very cool. Just a couple more CAs that we're going to check in with until we get to just open fire on all your questions. So talking with Island Jenkins next, she's one of our CAs here in O'Shea Hall. Just about, is living on campus safe? Who's there to make sure that things are going to be okay? Who can I talk to? So Island, please enlighten us.
Thank you so much, Kim, for the introduction. Can everybody hear me okay? I know sometimes technology can be a little wonky.
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. So like Kim said, my name is Island Jenkins. I'm a sophomore here at Niagara University, and I am a hospitality major. I'm a CA in O'Shea. I'm currently in the CA staff office. I would show you guys around, but it's a little hectic in here considering that we're gearing up to let our students leave for the summer. So, like Kim said, a lot of times people come on campus and they're asking, is it safe here? How do I come here and feel secure here? I had the same questions coming in as a freshman, and it honestly, I can't sit here and tell you guys that I have had an awful experience when it has come to safety. We have an entire team of campus safety officers who patrol the campus, who are here for the students and protect them like they're their own. The best part about Niagara University is that, we're kind of in a bridge, if you will, between Lewiston and Niagara Falls, which means that we have a direct connection or line, if you will, to the Lewiston Police Department and the Niagara Falls Police Department. So, if anything happens, they're only a phone call away, and those stations are within a 5 to 10 mile radius of the campus, and they get here very quickly. I can say as a CA in dealing with certain situations, there's never been a time where, campus safety hasn't responded, or emergency medical services haven't responded either. So kind of to dive into a little bit about your first line of, safety, someone like myself or some of the amazing individuals that we have on this call that you've heard from or will hear from after me. Those are your CAs. These are people who are on the front line with you. They'll make sure that, nothing happens to you because safety is our number one priority. So of all things, that's our focus. Excuse me. So you'll have CAs in your buildings and, they'll have these things that we call duty shifts. There's never going to be just one person on a duty shift at a time. You'll have multiple CAs and resources that you can go to in case anything happens. These individuals are available from 7 at night all the way up until the next morning. So anytime you need any of them, they're easily to reach, as well as campus safety. Anytime throughout the day that you're in the building, the residence life staff is in the building. The office is open typically from 9 to 5, sometimes 9 to 6, sometimes they pull some later hours. But also that our students feel safe and secure here. That's kind of my spiel about safety. The campus safety presence is always near, excuse me. Any questions that you guys have, please feel free. I'll throw my information in the chat. And it's been lovely having you guys here today. It's been lovely hearing from some of my counterparts. You guys are all amazing. And I'm going to pass it back over to our amazing boss, Kim Fenton.
Thanks, Island. Yeah, and I'm curious. I see CA Tingle on the board behind you. I'm not sure what that means, but it's a good. There's always some kind of fun to be had here. So awesome. And again, as Carrie said at the beginning, as you've heard from all of our wonderful CAs, they're really the ones who are here. CAs are doing rounds through the building. We're all here to make sure that you're having a good experience. I've seen a couple of questions here in the chat about how do I become a CA, and which is awesome because of course we're so proud of ours. So our next two guests here are going to talk a little bit about, okay, how do I become involved? How do I become a CA? All those other kinds of things. What are the leadership opportunities and stuff like that? So I'm going to turn it over to two of our LCAs, Ashley Plotnicki and Gina Larini.
Hello. Hi, everybody. So my name is Ashley. I'm a senior nursing major, and circling back to the living learning communities, I've lived in Varsity Village for the past 3 years. I've been a CA here, and Kim, I'll touch on your note. I feel like I have my whole wedding party set just from living here, just through like other CAs and the girls that I've lived with. I actually counted the other day. I've lived with 15 different people throughout my time here. So just plenty of opportunities to make friends. Just to go through the houses a little bit. So Varsity Village 1 currently is the Camp Courage Crew house. So I'm actually the president of Camp Courage Crew, and it's a club on campus, so we can do all our meetings here. And this is kind of just like our little hub for Camp Courage Crew. House 2 is the Hospitality and Tourism house. So if you're interested in joining that house, that's something that you can apply for starting, I believe, your sophomore year, might be even freshman year now. And then houses 3, 4, 5 are the social justice houses, and house 6 is the ROTC house. So plenty of opportunities to get involved and kind of hone in on a little niche on campus. So do you want to touch on how to become a CA?
Yeah. So my name is Gina. I am a senior biology major. So just kind of talking about the importance of getting involved on campus. Reflecting back on my freshman year, I was a very homesick freshman. I'm from Rochester, so that's only about an hour and a half away. But I'm a big family person, so being away from my family was very tough at first. And I found that getting over this homesickness, a key factor in that was getting involved on campus. That's how you find your people, you find your niche, kind of like Ashley said, you find who you want to grow with throughout this journey. So being a CA has been a major part of that journey for me. I applied, so the applications open at the beginning of the spring semester. So I applied in January of 2018, that was my freshman year. After that, there's like a series of different applications. There's a written application, there's normally some sort of group interview, and then there's your individual interview. And then after that, you would either receive an acceptance to the job, to the CA position with your placement. You can receive an alternate letter saying, yes, like you were successful in this process, however, we just don't have a spot for you right now. Or you would receive a no where you can apply in a future year. So I was placed in Seton. I'm one of the LCAs in Seton Hall right now, and this is my 4th year actually. All the years that I've been at Niagara, I've lived in Seton, so it's really become home for me. And I've made some of my closest friends through being a CA. So Ashley over here, we met through Res Life, and now she's one of my closest friends. So getting involved on campus, it's just great. I can't say enough good things about it.
Big bridesmaid energy. Not getting married anytime soon, but you know.
Yes. Do you want to add anything?
No, I don't think so. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. So now we want to get to some of the questions that you guys have put in the chat. We'll try to get to all of them as best we can. If other CAs want to just start answering stuff in the chat too that you've seen come up, go for it. Let's see. So one of the first ones I did get an answer. So in terms of our percentages of diverse people from diverse backgrounds on campus, right now we're about 20% students from diverse backgrounds. But we always know that that's something that we want to improve. We want to get better at. We have a task force on campus, which is our racial injustice task force, and they've been working about, number one, how do we make our campus even more welcoming, even more accepting, training the campus community that we have to make sure that they're aware and able to really support students who come from diverse backgrounds. So we have that as well. And then also just to increase our populations as we move forward. So really excited about that. Thanks for that great question. So I was happy that we were able to get you some information there. All right, let's see. How about Liam, tell us about TVs. How big of a TV do you really need in that room?
I'm not going to say what you need or don't need, but how I, in my freshman year roommate did it was we brought, I believe my TV was a 32-inch and his was a 40-inch. And we put them on top of our desks. The 32-inch fit perfectly. The 40-inch, I would say, was snug. There are other ways that you could bring a bigger TV if that's your desire. Ideally, I would say the 32 to 40 at the max is ideal, or if there's something smaller that you would want.
Awesome. And then what about mounting? Can you answer that one too?
I believe we cannot mount anything on, yeah, definitely don't mount anything in these walls. Your neighbors would not be happy about that. So TVs have to stay on their stands, whether it's on a desk or a dresser.
Awesome. Thanks, Liam. All right, rapid fire, keep going on here. So one of the next questions that we got was about, are people here on the weekends? Do people leave? So Caden, tell us a little bit about, from all your different ways that you're involved, tell us about the weekends. What do they look like?
I think for the weekends, there's always something to do. Like I said earlier, Campus Programming Board is always putting on late night events every Friday night and some galley giveaways on Saturdays. In terms of my friend group, a lot of us like to stay on campus over the weekends, and that's kind of when we like to get off campus and explore the area. So we go to the falls. Sometimes over the weekend, we do all the kind of the touristy attractions. We'll make a trip to the outlet mall. Niagara Falls, if you haven't been here, is a beautiful area. So there's always something to do, if not on campus, exploring the area, going to Lewiston. Orange Cat is a super popular coffee place that I love. There's always somewhere new to explore.
Awesome, thanks, Caden. A couple other questions about parking. So for our first year students who live in Seton and O'Shea, Serena, do you want to tell us a little bit about parking and, what's the situation? How far do you have to walk to get to your car?
So I actually don't have a car on campus, but I can still answer the question. No, that's okay. So most students park in the O'Shea lot, which is a very large parking lot. So you don't really need to worry about finding a parking spot. And that's pretty good walking distance, obviously, to O'Shea because it's right behind it, but then also to Seton, it's not too far of a walk. If you're really wanting to hike to your dorm room, you can park in the Dwyer parking lot, which is a hockey arena. But that one doesn't make as much sense because it's not as close. But so parking is not too much of a problem, especially if you're living on campus. If you're a commuter, that's when it gets a little bit more difficult trying to find a parking spot when you're going to class. But again, living on campus, it's not a challenge, and parking passes can be picked up from campus safety in the beginning of August. I don't know the exact price. Maybe Kim, you can touch on that.
Aiden just unmuted. I'm going to say he probably knows about the price.
$90 for the whole year. I know one of my friends pays $400 for their semester. So like 90 for the whole year is a bargain. It's good.
Exactly. Awesome. And then there's going to be a table right at summer orientation where you can sign up for your parking pass. If you have your vehicle registration, your license plate, you can bring it right in and sign up at orientation. So you don't even have to worry about that when you come back for move-in day. Awesome. So let's see, one other question was about athletes and where do athletes typically live. So athletes really can choose to live anywhere on campus, but I'm going to recommend that if you are a first-year student athlete, you live in O'Shea Hall, because Seton, the other option for first-year students, actually closes during breaks. So a lot of times if you're on an athletic team, you know, you might have games over Thanksgiving break or Easter break or spring break, things like that. So most of our athletes do typically live in O'Shea for that reason, but there are some teams where they don't have any specific, you know, they don't have to practice or they don't have competitions over break. So just check with your coach and see if there's any advice that your coach has about that. One other thing about cell phone providers, I'll just do that one real quick. So there's no specific cell phone provider that we have on campus that we recommend. A lot of the big ones in the US, so Verizon works well, AT&T works well, Sprint works well, all that. Because you can't actually see Canada from some of the buildings on our west side, sometimes you'll kind of bounce off of Canadian cell towers, but if you just turn on like the Wi-Fi option on your phone, you'll be able to be connected and everything as well. But yeah, other than that, any of the major US carriers are going to be just fine on our campus. All right, so I think, let's see, one of the other questions that is a really big one that we'll get to is about move-in day. So move-in days worked a little bit different, obviously, this year in the past for COVID, but we are hoping that by next year we'll be able to get back into something of a little bit more of a traditional move-in day. So what this looks like this year, you can save the date. It's August 27th, that Friday. Move-in day is like our, you know, Christmas morning. It's our big day of the year. It's the day that we're all excited about. And then we have a slogan here in our office, and it's no problems on move-in day. So everybody in our entire department, all like 60 of us, are here to make sure that you don't have any problems when you get to campus. And so that's just one of the ways that we try to look at this, because we know this is a stressful day for you. So what we do, we're going to send you a packet of information home over the summer. Again, if move-in day kind of goes back to our typical pre-COVID kind of situation, which we'll let you know more about this summer. So we do assign times, and the reason we do that is just to avoid, you know, any kind of congestion in the parking lots and the hallways, all that good stuff. But we will have you and your roommate move in at the same time. And so usually it starts at 8 a.m. and then we'll assign times all the way through about noon that day. And when you get here, we're going to have a ton of volunteers, so we'll help you get your stuff to your room, just to make sure that that's a smooth and easy process. And then starting right at about 1 o'clock for the whole rest of the day, we're going to have you meeting people. We're going to do events. We're going to take big pictures, all that kind of stuff. Again, COVID accepting here. We'll see how this all plays out, what things look like in the spring or in the fall. And then through, again, that Friday, we're going to keep you busy. We're going to get you meeting people, getting you oriented to the campus, and then we're going to keep that going all through Saturday and Sunday as well, so that when Monday comes around for classes, you know where you're going, you've got people you know, you've got, you know, people around the building, you're unpacked, you're settled in. So move-in day is super exciting. We're going to send you a whole like 16-page booklet about move-in day and what to expect for that. So awesome. Any CAs, do you guys know about work study or how the work study application process works? Serena just raised her hand.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So if you apply for work study, if you don't know if you apply, you can ask the financial aid office, but it should have been in like your financial aid package when you found out you were accepted to Niagara. I had a work study job my freshman year. My uncle actually works on campus, so I was able to work with him in the sports medicine, like athletic training office. Applications for work study usually go out right before the semester begins or like within the first couple of weeks. So positions first go to those who most need it, and then there's also a waiting list for those who are like kind of secondhand, I guess you could say. So they definitely like look at your interests, look at your major, and try to place you in a job accordingly. So mine was pretty random considering my major. Like I worked with sports and I'm a marketing major. But like I have another friend who's a marketing major, so she did social media marketing in the impact office. So it is nice that like they pair you in a job that makes sense for your potential career. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's a good experience to be able to keep working while you're going to school and at least make a little bit of money.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Serena. All right. So I'm going to put my email in the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I know some of the CAs have as well. But one thing that I want to make sure we have time to get to, and I also want to be respectful of your evenings as well, is the big topic of the day, I guess, especially on like the Facebook group. By the way, if you're not in that incoming student Facebook group, go ahead and join that as well. That's where you're going to get to just meet a lot of your other classmates and stuff like that. Hear a lot of exciting information from your orientation leaders as you start to get close to July. So our housing application. So I sent out an email last week, and then I sent out another new batch today. So it takes a few days after you deposit to get your email and get everything entered into the system so that you can log in and do your housing application. So go ahead and check your Niagara email. It will not go to your personal email. It's only at your Niagara email. So if you haven't gotten that login yet, admissions is going to make sure that you get that, and they'll send that information to you about how you log in to your Niagara everything. So your email, your MyNU page, which is kind of like our little hub. It's the place where you go to get all your information, and it's our housing login as well. So you've got all that information there. And then I'm going to put a link in the chat to just this website that we put up just to give you all the information that might be in that email as well. So there is a separate website that you'll fill out to do your housing application. It's not part of that MyNU portal, like where you're picking like your SUMO dates, summer orientation dates and stuff like that. It's a separate portal. And so the link went out in that email. It's on this link as well that I'm going to send to you. And basically there is your housing contract, which is the first thing. If you're under 18, it's not going to let you sign your housing contract, but then we'll come back together with you and have your parents sign it, things like that after. If you are 18, you can go ahead and sign that now. And then the next screen of it is going to be like Liam said, where we ask you all those different questions about you know, your schedule, your habits, like, do you want to study more in the room, or do you want the room to be kind of more of a social place for you, and things like that. So then from here, we can get all this information, we collect it all in together, then we take into account a whole lot of stuff, including your major, including even like where you're from and all those kinds of things. And then we get everybody matched up together. So if you do have someone that you already know is coming to Niagara with you, sometimes people meet at like accepted student day, sometimes people knew each other from high school, or like you played soccer together, or whatever the case is. So you can request your own roommate, and all the instructions are going to be at this link as well for you to be able to do that. But if you don't know anyone coming to Niagara, just know that you don't need to know anybody. We can still take care of you. About 70% of students actually don't have their own roommate. And so that's again, where I'm trying to make those, you know, bridal party matches here, is out of those. So 70% of our students are in that boat. So you don't need to worry if that's not you, if you don't know who's here, who's coming to campus, you don't know anybody else, don't worry about it. We can take care of that for you. So if you are doing a roommate request, we've had some questions come in the past couple of days where people are like, wait, it's not showing up anything. So the only thing that you have to know is that nothing's going to show up on your roommate request until you do your housing application and your contract first. So just make sure that you walk through it step 1, and then step 2 is your roommates. But if you don't want to choose a roommate, you got off easy today. You don't need to do anything else for step 2 once you get your housing application done. So those are due on June 1st. And again, so this link that I'm going to put in here, let me get it into the chat. There's also, if you're having trouble with logging into the website or things like that, we also have a full YouTube video that'll show you exactly step by step what to click on, how to get logged in for not only the application, but the roommate request process as well. And then we also have, if you don't feel the need to listen to me talk to you for 9 minutes about how to fill out your housing application, there's also just a PDF that's got all kinds of screenshots, so you can follow along to show how to do that. And then for one of the questions that we've had a lot is about singles. So for freshman year, we really do want our students to live together because we think that's a really important experience. I've had, again, I don't know why this is all about marriage tonight, but one of the things that some students have told me in the past was that you know, they learned how to be in a marriage by having a roommate freshman year. That's how they kind of learned what it's like to have to care about other people's, you know, habits and things like that. So, but not just for that. We think it's a really great experience to have a roommate, and we do really encourage everybody to have a roommate. However, in the past we have had, for COVID, we did something a little different last year, or this current year. So last summer, because of course with the pandemic, we just weren't sure. So this year we are still going to consider medical requests for a single, as we always would. If anyone has, you know, maybe somebody at home who is at a higher risk or things like that, or you're at a higher risk yourself. So we still will consider those on a medical basis. If you have questions, feel free to just reach out to our office directly, and then we can always help you with those. And then like Liam said as well earlier, if you get a roommate and it turns out that you're just not meant to be roommates, that's cool too. We can help you every step of the way. We'll try to make it so that before it even gets to that point where you're just not having it anymore, we'll try to help you kind of work through some of those things. But if it gets to the point where it just doesn't work out, you can come into our office and we can help you out with a room change as well. So we hope that this has been helpful. I'm going to put my email here in the chat. And again, my name is Kim Fenton. I'm the Director of Residence Life and the Assistant Dean of Students here on campus. Hopefully you've been able to grab a couple of emails from some of our staff members as well if you had questions about things that they talked about. Oh, I see one quick important question here. Roommate requests are due on June 7th, whereas we want your application in by June 1st. If somebody deposits late or whatnot, of course we'll work with you, but if you're deposited already to NU, try to get your application in by June 1st. Awesome, but thank you so much. We're super excited to just have, you know, something here where we did this event in person last year. Unfortunately, we couldn't now, but we just hope it's you know, you got to see some parts of campus that we thought were cool. And thank you so much for being here. All right. Hope that you all have a wonderful night. Feel free to contact Bridget Gorman in admissions, who's been helping us tonight with this event. But wonderful. Thanks, everybody. We are looking really forward to seeing you in July for summer orientation and then back here full time in August. Nope, the roommate request is not on WebAdvisor. If you go to that link here, the niagara.edu/live on campus, that's going to get you through to show you where the application is. Wonderful. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Awesome. Take care, everybody.